Hello, my fellow patrons. Just wanted to give a quick screencast as it was suggested to me by a few people. Two things. Or one, to give a site update, and I'll explain why I haven't given any website update until now. And two, just to give an idea of just the background expenses. I know most of you just want to support the project and you don't necessarily need to see or demand some kind of calculation, but I think it's nice to have transparency just so everyone's on the same page, so you know where the money's going, how much money the patrons are contributing each week, etc. So I'm going to go through those two things, and this is, of course, in the midst of a little bit of chaos. As you know, our script for, let me turn this off here, for the album posting is not working. So Facebook is actually also hiding all of our albums for the last few years. Although you could see here, I guess because I'm the founder of this Facebook page, although I think I have the same account as the other admins. They can't see it for some reason. But the good news is that I see the photos still. I see all of these albums that they're still here. So hopefully Facebook is just hiding them temporarily, and hopefully we'll get them back. Here is an album test. Not the point of the screencast, but this is very heavy on my mind. We're trying all kinds of things. We're actually in contact with somebody that works at Facebook that's trying to highlight our review process. We're also submitting the review process with all different kinds of things that they're asking for, and trying this third-party scheduler called Publer. This is my chat with their tech support, who's actually really nice, and I've just been chatting with him for like the last week, and all kinds of scripting and techie stuff. But you know what? Hopefully we'll get back on track with Facebook. Obviously, this highlights the need for our website. Where is our website? Let's start with that. Let's start with the website, and then I'll go to we'll call it the transparency part of the screencast, where I'll just go over like all of the funding that's come in, what expenses I have, what future expenses we have. So can I just say, first and foremost, even though it's kind of maybe obvious or redundant, I really wouldn't be doing any of this, couldn't be doing any of this without your support. And I know maybe some of you think like, well, I'm only giving $1 or something like that. It really does help. And it's pretty amazing to be on this side of things, because I give to actually some other patrons, people that I follow, mostly like woodworkers on YouTube that I follow. And also just geeky things like Google spreadsheet add-ons that I have, and sometimes I just support people even though their service may not be for pay. It could just be a free thing. I'll throw them a couple of dollars. It's nice. My point is, I think when I'm doing that, it's like it's more of a gesture. I'm giving them a couple of dollars. Like, what is it to me to give a couple of dollars? But I mean, we have let me pull this up here. We're 52 frames, over 300, 240 patrons, at least how Patreon says it right now. And obviously it's not all dollars. People have, many of you are $2.50 a week level, and some of you are $5 and above. It really adds up. I mean, think about it. You do the math on a weekly, even if it's just $1, it's $250 a week, you know? So it all really helps. And I really, at the end of the day, I find myself in this leadership or management position for this amazing group, for this amazing community, for this amazing creative challenge that we're all tapped into. And it's not like I woke up on this is total tangential, so I'm sorry, but it's deep. The gratitude is deep because I woke up. It's not like I woke up one day and said, I'm going to create this community and this and that. This is year by year, month by month, week by week. And at a certain point, I didn't know if I could contain it. I didn't know if I could. I mean, this takes up a lot of my time. Thankfully, I'm married to somebody who is supportive. Because I make $0, you know, it's not an easy thing to say like, listen, I want to take basically 2 days, 2 work days a week, and not weekends, 2 work days a week, and just focusing on managing this community. And the dream is obviously that I can make this a job somehow, or at least a part-time job, you know, and earn some income from it. That would be the ideal. That's really combining, you know, my passion and what I feel is really doing good in the world, and also to be able to support my own expenses and family. But right now, that's not the case. And I got to a point where I was like, I don't know if I could contain this, you know, and I definitely don't think that I could pay thousands and thousands of dollars to create the platform on a website that we need to get off of Facebook, when there's no guarantee that I would be able to make that money back. There's no guarantee that the community itself would be amenable, would be open to leaving Facebook. So really, this Patreon campaign, and all of you guys, it completely changed the dynamic of just me slaving away behind my computer, and all of these like doubts and thoughts and questions and financial questions. And so there are delays, and it's not ideal, and this is imperfect, and Facebook is now just crushing on all of our souls. And I really wish this was more seamless. I wish it were quicker. You know, it's not ideal, and I hold it very, very deeply, very heavy on my shoulders. And that's just me also, but I definitely also feel very responsible for all of the support that's coming in. I really don't take that lightly. Maybe that's a good way to start, is that I really don't take that lightly, and all of the delays that are coming from the developer and his own personal issues and other technical issues, it really kills me. It really does. It probably people that are closest to me in my life tell me that it shouldn't, you know, that it's okay, that I shouldn't be so hard on myself. But it's been a journey. You know what I mean? It's been a long time, and the point of this is not at all to highlight any negative airing out here, but I just want to stress that I feel immensely responsible to every pledge and contribution that comes in, including non-dollar amounts, all of the volunteers and people that give their time, and people that are just participants themselves, that make themselves a piece and a part of this amazing thing that we call our community. So with that said, it's going to be a long one, I guess. With that said, this is all happening, and God willing, this will be live and launching sooner than later. And that really, I could not have taken that first step without the support of you guys. That was my long way of saying thank you. So what do we start with? A website walkthrough, or why we don't have a website yet? Why we don't have a website yet is not such an interesting story. And I apologize if my lack of updates imply like all kinds of wild imaginations of, is there even a website? Who is this developer? Our developer is this really sweet Filipino guy named Amante. He lives in Cebu City, and he's been working full time. And he's only anonymous because I asked him to like announce to the community. I wanted to like a relationship with him that people could thank him, and that would be inspiration for him, also a motivation. And he's very shy, and he didn't want to be introduced to the community. So I said he's our anonymous developer. That was, in hindsight, that was a silly thing for me to say because it made it sound more mysterious than it was. It's like, who is this guy? Is there a guy? So yes, that is our developer. His name is Amante, and he's been working diligently. And what was ideally going to be a January launch was never going to happen. But we were aiming for March, like a March, April launch. And April, May, June, that's almost 4 months delayed. So I know there were some people on the, I'm going to assume this is nobody I'm talking to here, but there are some people that are voicing concerns, which I understand. You know, I understand that. I think in general, I'm an open book. I think all information should always be out there, and transparency is an important thing. I do disagree with some of the sentiments, some of the tones that I've been getting, especially because of like everything that I'm holding on to right now on a personal level. But there were people that thought development started 2.5 years ago. That's not the case. Maybe I'm going to clarify that once I go through like this chart here, somewhere here, of the contributions that have come in. When we began, basically we're 4 months delayed, which is still really bad. It's not a good thing. And it's part technical, that it's actually a beast of a website that we're making. I'm going to walk you through it in a moment. It's part personal. The developer himself is unfortunately going through some very personal issues in the last 2 months. So that has really pushed things off, unfortunately. And because we've already invested a year, I don't think I can get a new, aside from personally, I like the guy and we have a very good rapport, to hire a new developer at this point, he would probably start from scratch. So I'm at a bit of a crossroads with that without getting into details, but it's been a bit challenging. And also we've hired some people for design and things like that we had to let go. And it's a process, and it's taking longer than I would have liked. But there is a lot here, and hopefully I'll be able to show you that there is a lot that's done. There's still a bit more that needs to get done before we can make it live. And I wouldn't want to go live when it's a little bit broken. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if we were to go live without any previous albums on the site. So you go on and it works, the submission form works, we get an album at the end of the week. But there's no other photos. There's no photos on the homepage. You get a profile page. There's no photos on the profile page. After the first week, you'll have one photo on your profile page. You can't search photos. So it's like, okay, it'll work, but I just find the dynamics of what's possible on the site is so much more deep when we have all of our old photos migrated from the last, let's say, 3 years. So you go to somebody's profile page, you could actually see their last 3 years of submissions. If you search photos by tags, those tags that you put in every week and you don't know where they go, now that's actually going to be searchable, which is a really dynamic way to just browse and learn. So I find myself questioning whether I'm giving over way too much information here. So I apologize if this is a little bit long. But let me put all of those notions aside for the moment. I think it is important to give over. I hope it can also give over some kind of understanding for you guys about just the general process. And I will show you what we got. Okay, so what we're looking at here, and this is a live site if you did want to check it out. Although there's not that much you could do on it in terms of the site being functional on a practical level. So we have, this is our homepage, really beautiful. This is our login. We have albums. Okay, so before I continue, obviously this looks like ridiculous. There's two parts of a website. There's what's happening behind the website, okay? And that's like all kinds of things here. I mean, it's not just this. There's obviously a whole lot of code that's happening. On the server side, that's all what I call functionality, meaning how does a photo get submitted and that photo goes somewhere and it's part of your account and you create an account and you can follow all these things. Then the second part of a website is what's called the front end or design, and that's what makes it look pretty. So what's important is that when you click sign up and you're searching, you type in your first name and your last name, this and that, this is functionality. So these text boxes actually work, okay? But that's not what it's going to look like. The design is being worked on at the same time. And just to give you an idea, this is what it would look like, right? This is going to be the last step, is to make it look pretty. And that is one of the main reasons why I didn't want to make this screencast up until now, just because people have been asking me and saying it's time. But why it's been so delayed for an update is because I didn't think people would understand if I said, okay, here's our website, and they look at it and they just see that it looks like crap, like it just looks ugly, because the design isn't done. There is no design, right? It's just functionality. Well, so what you have to understand is that this is really, pretend you're looking at this. This is what the design is going to look like. And this is all done by fellow framer Shannon Crescent, who is doing an amazing job just in terms of the vibe and the softness, the friendliness, these fun little icons, these cute little things that she, like, don't worry, you can always upgrade later, smiley, like really just caught the very much our character, I think, which is very important, especially for somebody signing up for the first time, to see that we're fun, we don't take ourselves too seriously. This is what the website is going to look like. Just to give you another idea here, this is the photo view. Beautiful, beautiful job which he's done here. So as far as a UX perspective, user experience, meaning what seems to be the obvious next step of what to do and how to find things on the page and not get confused, I think it's really, really spot on. We have right and left arrows, a really nice dark live box view, so you can see the photos in full size in a really nice way. I don't know, we're not going to have this icon, but we'll have likes, and if you click on that, we'll be able to scroll down. This flag is just a way to flag an admin and be like, hey, I think this photo should be censored. You know, it's look, it's not really what's called an MVP, a minimum viable product. It's not like a prototype website. It's definitely very, very robust, but at the same time, it's version 1, you know, and we're going to be building on top of things. This isn't going to be here an ad, but it would be nice if we can at some point have some sponsor space there. But this is the design. This is, you know, location coming soon. That's an idea that we're having about a map that needs to be talked out. But basically, just this gives you an idea of like what the flow will look like, what the vibe, which I think is really important. So pretend that that's what it looks like. Let me just show you a little bit of functionality, and maybe I'll also just cue you in a little bit as to how much goes on for each thing. I mean, this, just the login and the get started, I think was 2 months of development. It seems like obvious, but this is all done by from scratch. So login, but you don't have an account, so you sign up here. So that takes you over here, and then you can sign up, or you could continue with Facebook. So I'll log in as with the Facebook button because that's easy. Okay, and then I have my my profile here, and my profile is going to be very fancy here. Obviously, a work in progress, but you're going to have all of your photos. You'll have maybe some awards that you've gotten. Maybe you'll have a bio. You'll have a way to edit your profile. So little things like just that last thing I said. Edit your profile. I have people that will email me and say, I changed my last name. Can you change my last name on the form, on the website? And that takes me like, I don't know, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes. It takes a long time to go and change somebody's name. So it's really, it's just going to be a total game changer. So what else can I show you? Albums. So I've already started migrating all of our old albums from 2016 and on. These are empty right now. We're working on porting and migrating all of the photos. Maybe I can show you that. This migration tool. Just so you get, like, this is just a tool that Amante created just for porting purposes, just for migrating purposes. So it's about first migrating all of the users, right? And then if there's a warning, so he has this whole platform for an admin to see what the warning is, and it says the city's not found in the database. Perhaps there's a typo. Like it's deep. It runs deep. And then we have CSV imports plus the same kind of validation for the albums, and then we'll have eventually for the photos, and then maybe in a future date we'll have for the Facebook comments to port over as well. I don't think we'll have that at launch. I just thought it'd be nice to capture those conversations, but it's it's a lot. This has been going on for the last 2 months, which I think could have been shortened a little bit due to personal reasons from the developer side, but this was something I felt that we needed to go live. So we actually could have gone live, I think, sooner. But back to the albums. Let me show you an album that actually has photos in it. Okay, not many, but this has 8 photos. And again, this is going to look like, I actually have an album view here. It'll look something like this. Not exactly this, but it'll look something like this. Those are all album views. All challenges directly. Oh, something like this. Whoa. The album view looks a little bit like that. So again, like right now, it looks like this. Okay, so it's gonna somewhere in the middle. What else can I show you as far as design while I'm here, real quick? There's something else I wanted to show you. Here, it's also, this is not done yet, but submission form. You'll drop your file on there, and then you'll fill out these things. Things are just very neat and colorful and self-explanatory. You can have your technical details. Again, like later version, your technical details will be automatically, if you have it on your photo, be automatically scraped on. So, all right, let's back out of design. Let's go to album. So, okay, so here's a couple of cool things I want to show you. First of all, nudity card, you just click show. Boom. Obviously, that's not a nude picture, but we're just testing it. Also, I'll refresh. I think in version 1, it's just going to show the card every time. In future versions, you'll be able to go to your profile and turn it on or off globally. So you'll say like, never show me the card, just always show me the picture, or always show me the card so I could choose, or never show me the photo or the card so I don't even know it exists, which I think is a cool way to customize your experience. So we're going through our album here, okay, and we have Susan's photo, and we have here this lovely pumpkin, Brie Vanti. So let's say I want to follow Brie, following, and I want to follow Susan also. Okay, so now, I mean, pretend this is an 800 photo album. I'll go to here and I'll filter by the people that I follow. And then we have just the people that I follow, just my friends. And let's say I want to go to Susan's profile. I can click on her name, and now I'm at her profile. Again, this is just functionality. This is not going to look like this. And this may seem obvious for other social media sites. This is huge. Like, this is a game changer. This isn't something we could do right now. You're talking about taking an 800 photo album and making it much more, mini community centric based on who you want to follow. That's what I can show you right now as far as the website. Again, it runs really deep as far as just how everything works, how each album has its own specs and timelines, and also challenge pages, and it's quite functional, meaning you can create an account. You can I don't have a live album right now, like a live form up, but you can submit a photo. You can go to the challenge page, you can submit a photo, and you can, after the deadline, you can view the album. And well, I didn't show you, but you can also comment on the photo. You can like a photo, and you can filter and follow. So that's that's already a big deal. You'll also get some form of notifications. Like, it's technically ready, technically functional. It needs design. It needs to look like this, something nice and pretty. And it needs to have all the photos migrated from Facebook for the last few years, which is a very big deal. And it needs to be tested. That's the biggie. Really needs to be tested. Once I have design, I'm going to shout it out to you patrons first to go ahead and like sign up for an account. And then we'll really do some like a couple weeks of proper testing, get all the bugs out, and then we'll move the community over. So yeah, I mean, technically this could go live technically like in a month or two. I don't think it will. But I really hope that it's sooner than later. I know that's some people peg me on, me talking about March or April, and it's a shame that we're 4 months behind, but I'm not going to say date anymore. It's a very humbling experience. But again, hopefully it'll be sooner than later. So, Patreon. First of all, I just want to point out that I created a transparency post. This was 1 year ago. So just in case, and again, I'm sure those that are listening are not coming from this place of judgment, or I'm just saying that there are some people out there that have given me a little bit of pushback on why have we never gotten a transparency of, like, where is this money going, this and that. So first of all, I definitely did. This wasn't anything anyone asked of me. I just thought it was a good idea, same as I think it's a good idea now. And this was 1 year ago. So August 2017. So it's nice. August 2018. It's a good time for an update. And it's more or less the same. You can go on your Patreon feed and find this. The average was $1,100 at the time. I'm paying a developer $1,500 for each month. These are a little bit lower now. It's MailChimp is $75 a month, and our Wufoo forms are $35 a month. So let's look at the whole history. Where are we? Okay, it's here. So I figured, let me just show you like exactly what it is. Patreon gives you a nice chart. Unfortunately, this is when I changed from monthly to weekly. So January, I like screwed it up. Like messed it up. I didn't submit when I was supposed to, and I thought it would. I don't know. Anyways, that's that loss of money there. So we started the campaign in March of 2016, and we started development in June 2017 over here. So from the beginning of the campaign until May, so the first year, 2016, I guess the half year, it ranges from about, let's say $500 to $700, let's say around $600 a month. And then from June, let's say to the beginning of this year, I think it was around $1,100, or that's what I said over here. It said $1,100. Oh, the average for the last few months have been $1,100. So yeah, I guess that was the first half of 2017. So maybe like 1,200, 1,300, something like that. And since the average of 2018, we'll see from January, we have 1,200, 1,600, 1,100, 1,800. Now they're all over the place because there's not always 4 Sunday. Like, it's weird. Sometimes there's 5 Sundays in a month, or I guess in this case it would be Tuesday when we post. Sometimes there's less Tuesday. I hope that it's 52 after the whole year. That's the point. But it's a bit difficult to calculate, especially because also these people, some of the early patrons didn't change their monthly to weekly. So that throws off, like if you see here, it says 469. That's not the case. It's less than that. It wouldn't be 469 times 4 or 5. So the numbers are a bit all over the place and skewed. Obviously people join, some people leave. It's hard for me to put like a finite dollar amount. The best thing I could do is take an average. That's, I think, the best calculation that I could do. So right now, from January to August, which is the most relevant, the average is about $1,500, which is right on par with my developer costs, what I'm paying Amante for the month. Before here, obviously, it wasn't enough to cover the development, but I had a bunch of pledges the year previous of around $500. So I was able to offset that with a couple $1,000 also left over, which I have. I don't touch any of this money, but I have it waiting for further costs, which would be our front end designer. Okay, which that's somebody taking all of this design and actually developing it so that it works properly and looks good on mobile, looks good on a tablet, all these things. That will be somebody else's salary that I need to put in, I think, for a short amount of time, not for a very long amount of time. And then we'll have, of course, server costs. It's going to be a photography website. It's pretty intensive server costs. I don't know how much that's going to be. I assume, I don't know. It's a little bit scary, but it could be a couple $100 a month. At the very least, a couple $100 a year. And we have, what else? MailChimp is $75 a month. The Wufoo forms are $35 a month. And little things like that. So this money literally just translates directly into all of the running expenses that I have. Not to mention my time that I'm not compensated for as of yet, until I can make this at least a part-time job. That would really be the dream. But this really does translate into all of the running costs, and it would not happen without you guys. Really would not happen without you guys. So I hope that's clear enough. I'm really happy to answer any other questions that you have. I really just gave this whole thing over from the heart. That's why it's over 35 minutes long. I apologize for that. I think there's just a lot going on right now in the community, so I didn't really want to just give this over like a quick 2-minute, like, hey, this is where our money's going. This is like what our website looks like, and it does stuff, and it's been a journey, and I'm really, really grateful for all of the outpouring of love and support, like real support from so many of you recently. as well as obviously all of you that have been contributing. For those of you that just contribute, you don't really care, you're happy for it to go to me or to somebody else, you just want to help the project, thank you very much. I think it's still good that you know that these dollar amounts are going to very specific purposes. For those of you that are more detail oriented, I am with you. I am also very detail oriented. So I hope this gives you a good idea of what some of our expenses are and what some of our expenses are moving forward. And of course, the expenses that I don't know about. Monte's given me some surprise. Once we go live, then I'm really going to be faced with it, which is why I wouldn't touch any of the surplus, a couple $1,000 that's in the account, because that's going to be definitely necessary as a net, because we may need people like server professionals and just the unknown costs, potentially migrating to another language, potentially hiring another developer. It can't get bigger without obviously incurring more costs. So it's really been super organic that this money came in, and this help came in at a time when I honestly wasn't sure if I could do it myself, and it's nice to know that I don't have to do it myself. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed this super long screencast, and really email me any questions at all. Yosef@52frames.com, info@52frames.com, whatever. Yosefdes@gmail. Pick your email, and I'm an open book. I'm really happy to answer any questions you have. And again, the website, I personally think, even though it's we've hit a couple of bumps in the road, especially right now. Shannon says that the design is she's gonna hope to finish everything by the end of August. I hope that we're gonna be back in order, that these personal issues will be sorted out, and we'll be full steam ahead come September, and then maybe we can start testing in October, November, and go live around there. So if I would have to start again, because it's particularly taking a long time, I don't think the development or the developer personally is taking a long time. I mean, he's logged all of his hours. He's a full-time employee. It's a beast of a project. I don't know if I should show you all of our notes. It's pretty crazy. But if I were to hire somebody new, they would most likely start from scratch. So that would most likely be at least 8 months, at least, no question, at least 6 months. So my gut tells me keep going, and hopefully we'll, in an organized fashion, hopefully Facebook will be able to hold us, and hopefully we'll be able to go live, shortly after the summer, before the new year. But yeah, on that note, if Facebook really wasn't working and there was no way around it, we literally weren't able to post the albums, then I'd probably forget the migrating the old photos and just bring people over onto the site. And it would mean people wouldn't be able to submit photos if they have bugs. It wouldn't really work 100%. But we could play that, because it really is mostly ready. Once the design is ready, it really will look and feel like a very high functioning website. So that's where we're at right now, and bit of a crossroads. Again, that's why I'm just really speaking from the heart. I hope I wasn't too boring. So hope you guys, hope this finds you well, and I really wish you all the best from the bottom of my heart. Just tons and tons of gratitude. Thank you so much for believing in me, for believing in the project, especially to those of you that are supportive even without visual proof. But for those of you that demand visual proof, that's okay too. I'm happy to to supply it. Until next time, you know it. Happy shooting.